June 25th, 2018, and I'm now calling the meeting of the Paris City Council to order. The invocation will be given by Pastor Seal, and Mr. Hughes will direct the Pledge of Allegiance. Everyone stand, please.
Would you pray with me? Most gracious Father, we come to you, Lord, humbly, Lord, seeking your favor that you give so freely. We thank you, Lord, for these who serve the citizens of this city. And Lord, we just pray for your wisdom and your strength. Lord, we know that it's the local government that actually runs this place. We pray for your blessings on each and every one. And Lord, we just pray that everything that is said here tonight, everything that is done here tonight, will bring honor and glory to you. For it's in your precious Savior's name we pray. And all God's people said, Amen. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. This brings us to the Citizens Forum. Persons desiring to address the council must limit their presentations to no more than 2 minutes. Unless an item is posted on the agenda, the Texas Open Meetings Act prohibits the council from responding to any comments other than to refer the matter to a future agenda, to an existing policy, or to a staff person with specific factual information. Claims against the city, council members, or employees, as well as individual personal appeals, are not appropriate for Citizens Forum. The Citizens Forum is now open. Anyone wishing? Okay.
Mayor, members of council, thank you for the opportunity to appear before you this evening. My name is Larry Shank.
Thank you. I was going to get you to identify yourself. Go ahead.
And am I
Thank
good? And I live at 3765 Dawn Drive here in Paris. I'm here to address an issue that I and others have spoken to you about for the last 2 years, and which has, in my opinion, been overlooked for far too long, yet is very timely in the face of another pending water increase. As many of you are aware, it has been more than a decade since the city has approved a cost of living adjustment for city retirees. I'll say that again, it has now been more than 10 years since the city has approved a COLA adjustment for city retirees. Let me tell you who I am talking about. These are your neighbors, your friends, people you see at Walmart, church, the drugstore. They volunteer their services for our churches, our hospitals, and countless other causes. They are also taxpayers, voters, and constituents. When they worked for the city, they were your police people. They were your ambulance responders. They were the people who picked up your trash, made sure you had clean water, and made sure your dirty water was carried away. The people who kept your streets passable, your parks enjoyable, and your library full of knowledge and peace. These are the people who, in many instances, spent the very essence of their working lives, as much as 25 or 30 years, in dedicated public service to this community. Last year, we presented a detailed analysis illustrating that by comparison, statewide, regionally, or in comparison to other local cities, the city of Paris is at the bottom of the barrel when it comes to COLA adjustments for retirees. Yet when it comes to water rate increases, of which there have been many since the last COLA adjustment, the result for city retirees is another demand on their limited fixed income. I urge you to consider a fair and reasonable COLA adjustment for these deserving individuals because it's simply the right thing to do. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shane. Anyone else wishing to address the council? Okay. Oh, yes.
Mr. Hughes and I know what we're talking about, don't we?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
The gentleman before me did not sign his name.
I saw that.
And you know why? The pen didn't work last time. My name is Louise Haygood, and I live at 556 Fitzhugh. It is also known as a colorful street. If you don't believe it, just drive down it. I have a purple, a green, a blue, a gray, a yellow, a tan with a little bit of brown and red on it like Hollywood, and a White House. I live in the White House. Mr. Godwin, Dr. Clifford, council members, you were absent, Mr. Mayor, the last time I stood here in Citizens Forum, but you will be glad to know that Mr. Hughes presided very nicely in your absence. Perhaps the key is a bow tie. Tonight I am here on a different subject. Sherry Bedford is working very hard to make Paris a lovely place in which to live and which to visit. You, as council members, are being very lax, in my opinion, in enforcing the codes on the books, yet talk about establishing new codes. Mr. Godwin will recall when he first came to Paris, I told him he had two very weak spots in city government to correct. One of them was taken care of, but one was and still is code enforcement. Time will not allow me to give you examples, but it appears that a code supervisor, his director, and his two compliance officers drink a lot of coffee. Some of them may drink more than others. They do not drive and observe violations such as old signs, weeds, incorrectly parked cars, and so forth, and immediately post a citation to those homeowners and businesses. Instead, at city's expense, they send costly registered letters and then allow weeks to remedy the situation, not days. That is a very bad system. On entering the chamber tonight, I asked the police chief if, in cases of a dangerous situation and issuing a citation, if police officers who also patrol and see these violations ever accompanied a code enforcement officer, and he said they do and they will. It is I think when we leave here tonight, if you have time, on the third floor of this building, you did hire a firm to look into the beautifying and enlivening the downtown. J.J. Culberson left Paris with a very unique square with that beautiful marble fountain. And upstairs at 7:30 on the third floor, the firm that has been hired to beautify Paris will be there for your input. It is my fervent wish to see that Paris will again become the North Star of Texas, and its governing body, you have the power to do that. So I ask you, please, to get busy. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hagan. Anyone else wishing to address the council? Seeing none, the Citizens Forum is now closed, which brings us to the consent agenda. Are there any items on the consent agenda that anyone on the council wishes to pull for additional discussion? If not, then I'll entertain a motion to it regarding the consent agenda. Okay, I'll second it. So all in favor of passing the consent agenda, raise your hand. It's unanimous. Thank you. Item number 17 on the regular agenda, discuss, conduct a public hearing, and act on an ordinance considering the petition of Gary Weatherid for a change in zoning from a one-family district, SF2, to a commercial district C in the city of Paris, block 266, lot 7 acres, 6.885, located at 1375 Northeast 20th Street. Mr. Fruzzi, or who's going to?
I'll do it.
Okay.
This zoning change is and this is the highlighted property in purple, located on 20th Street. This property here, to help you orient, over here is the Ballwacker driving range. This is the a Church Crest, I think, here. New apartment complex on this stretch. He's wanting to turn this from residential zoning to commercial zoning. We would potentially have an issue with that if all of this were developable, because there's a lot of uses. We've talked about this before. There's a lot of different types of uses within commercial, but a majority of this property is in the floodplain, so it's not really practical to do a whole lot with that. In the same vein, if this were not in the floodplain, it could be a developable property for residential, because you could put a street in there and you could put a neighborhood in there potentially. But because of that floodplain, it's not really practical for that either. And for those reasons, because he does live next door, he does have a plan to construct a facility here, a shop. The Planning and Zoning Commission and the staff both recommend approval of this zoning request.
All right. Is there any discussion on this? Anyone have any comments?
I just had a quick question. Where does he live? Does he live in this house on Ballard or on the first house on 20th?
He lives on 20th.
Okay. And where would the driveway in and out be?
We don't have a site plan. This is just the zoning request. So that would be part of something that he would have to submit when he gets ready to actually build something.
Okay.
Any other discussion? All right.
We need to open our public hearing.
Let's open the public hearing. Anyone want to come to speak in favor or in opposition to this, please come forward. Seeing none, the public hearing is now closed. Any further discussion on this? I make a motion that we approve this zoning change from SF2 residential to commercial.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay. Item number 18, discuss and appoint Richard Manning to serve the unexpired term of Derek Hughes on the PEDC board. I have a few comments on this item. For many years, the Paris City Council has agreed to a deadline for submission of agenda items. This deadline is noon on the Wednesday before the meeting. Past councils have all agreed that this is best, as it allows the other council members to know what is on the agenda and gives them adequate time to prepare for the meeting. Ms. Portugal posted this agenda item on Thursday afternoon, more than a day after the official deadline. Although this doesn't violate the Texas Open Meetings Act, it does violate years of council policy. I respectfully request that in the future, all council members abide by the established council policy. If you're not in agreement with the policy, we can certainly discuss it, and we can do away with it if we want to and revert back to the 72-hour time limit mandated by the Open Meetings Act. And regarding the substance of this agenda item, 2 weeks ago, Mr. Pilgrim argued about the importance of establishing and strictly following policies regarding council elections and appointments. He proposed adopting a policy whereby all nominations are made for a position. Then all nominations are placed in a hat and randomly drawn out. Each nominee would then be voted on until all places were filled. This policy passed unanimously. I was absent from that meeting, but I support this policy. It is therefore both shocking and ironic that before we have even utilized this procedure for the very first time, an agenda item is placed that completely contradicts this policy. So as I understand, we are being requested to suspend our new policy. We are being asked to pull one name of one applicant to the PEDC. Then this applicant is to be given special treatment, not given to the other applicants of the PEDC. This applicant will not need to be nominated. His name will not have to be drawn from a hat. We will then vote on him and him alone. After this procedure, we will revert back to our predetermined policy that supposedly we were going to be following all along for all the rest of the ordinary applicants. How is this fair to the other applicants? We have an unusually large and talented pool of applicants for the 3 vacant positions on the PEDC, and they all deserve an equal opportunity to be appointed. Furthermore, the effectiveness of the PEDC can hinge on how well it represents our community, the diversity of our common experience, and the passion of all of our citizens. Electing new people to the board with new and diverse abilities and experiences will make the PEDC more likely to be successful in recruiting new businesses. Past board members, as well as private citizens, have always assisted with economic development initiatives. Membership on the PEDC board is not at all necessary for someone to assist with economic development. Mr. Hughes here served on the board for 2 years. He's obviously no longer on the board. I'm certain if Mr. Paris felt that his presence would be beneficial in any current or future economic development negotiations, he would be very willing to participate. I'm also sure that Mr. Banks feels the same way. Likewise, I'm certain Mr. Manning would be more than willing to help out with any negotiations at Mr. Paris's request, whether he's on the board or not. Many people who were not members of the PEDC and have never been members of the PEDC have already participated in discussions to try to improve our chances with American Spiral Weld. These people included, certainly not limited to, Pam Anglin, myself, Coach Stallings, Greg Wilson, John Godwin, and many, many others. So if Mr. Manning is not reappointed to the board, it will be insignificant to the results of economic development negotiations since he can continue to be active with any discussions. In fact, I believe a new person with fresh ideas and a different perspective could conceivably increase our chances of completing a deal. We will be in an ideal situation. We will have all the current board members working with all of the interested past board members, working with the newly elected board members, working with all interested citizens, all towards a common goal of economic development. So, because this agenda item was posted in violation of long-standing council rules and because this item directly violates the election procedures recently adopted by this council, and because this procedure is patently unfair to the other PEDC applicants, and because this will have no substantive effect on current economic development projects, I believe this agenda item is inappropriate and not in the best interests of Paris. I therefore make a motion that we table this item.
I'll second.
We got a second? Okay, I'm going to open it up for discussion. We're voting to table the item, and I'll start with Ms. Portugal.
Well, I spoke with Mr. Godwin about this issue, and there was a misunderstanding about whether I wanted it on the agenda or had just talked about it, I guess. He was getting ready to go to Texas City Management Association, and as he was going out of town, the agenda came out, and I realized it wasn't on there. And so it was just a mistake that it wasn't on there earlier.
Okay.
And I feel like Chairman Manning has served this city royally as a mayor and particularly as chairman of the PEDC, and would just like to give him the opportunity to finish out a term where he can be there when American Spiral Weld joins the Paris family.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Pilgrim, you have something to say on it? Anything? Okay. Anybody else? Ms.
I
Knox?
do.
Go ahead.
Yes, Mr. Hodge presented a very valid argument at the last city council meeting, and he had a delegation that filled about half of our council chambers, and they all stood in support of a policy and procedure that they requested that we follow. So I think that if we were to, although Mr. Manning is a fine person, he is a wonderful applicant, I think that it would be undermining their efforts and their wishes that they came and appeared before us. So I think that Mr. Manning would be better served, and all of us would be better served if he were to be nominated just like everybody else. And we do have some other great applicants just like Mr. Manning, and I'm sure that you will also do whatever it takes to continue any negotiation and even be there in the very front to welcome American Spiral Weld when they come to Paris. So I just think that we need to honor the people that came last time.
All right. Mr. Trano, you have anything to say?
No,
on
I
that?
have no comment.
Okay.
I just agree with
Ms. Stone?
what's been said.
I agree. Not only did Mr. Hodge stand up, but so did Ms. Haygood, and she's in my district. And if we don't represent all districts, only a percentage can be represented. If we changed our policy before we ever used it, it jeopardized the integrity of this city council, and we don't need that. So I agree, Mr. Manning, he has served in this community, and we appreciate that, but we need to make sure that everybody has the same opportunity for this board.
Thank you. Mr. Hughes, you have anything to say?
Yes. Of course, I served with Richard for 2 years and enjoyed every minute of it. And I can respectfully understand what Mr. Parrish is thinking, but I think it'd be best could he speak on why they want this?
If he wants to.
Would you like to say anything, Mr. Parrish? Yes, sir, go ahead.
My name is Michael Parris. I'm the Executive Director for the Paris Economic Development Corporation. The only reason that I had made this request and suggested it to Ms. Portugal is for the continuity. I appreciate that you favor this large group that was here at the last meeting, but you have to understand why they were here. So I don't want to get into the politics, but what I want to do is this. I want to look at the bigger picture of Paris, Texas. The bigger picture of Paris, Texas is that we need jobs, good paying jobs, and we need growth. Not only growth in the manufacturing sector, but also in housing. All I'm suggesting is continuity. For example, if you're getting ready to buy a house insurance or buy a house or buy a car, and they change the salesman midstream, how do you react? I'm not saying you won't buy the house, but it's a little uncomfortable, is it not? And yes, Mayor, we did take a big group of people to go to Birmingham, and I liked that it was a mixed group of people of differences of opinion and such. But my point to all this is that the corporate office in Birmingham and the vice president who is looking at bringing American Spiral Weld here, they have not made a decision. They have not made a decision. Have been working close not only with myself and also the PEDC, but also with the chairman of the board. I'm not suggesting he needs to be chairman again. All I'm suggesting is that there's been a relationship built between Chairman Manning and the corporate offices and the vice president of American Spiral Weld. And yes, those relationships have been built with the mayor. Those relationships have been built with Greg Wilson. Those relationships have been wonderfully made with Coach.
So are you saying Mr. Manning could not participate if he's not a member of the PEDC?
I'm not saying that at all.
Then what changes? That's the point, is why should we bend our rules that we adamantly passed 2 weeks ago? Before we've even implemented these rules, we have to violate them because it's just too important. Well, I think Mr. Manning would be very happy to serve.
You.
I mean, I think Mr. Manning would be.
Please don't interrupt me.
Go ahead, sir.
Thank you. All I'm suggesting is the continuity for him and being involved and making the appropriate decisions. Yes, he can be involved, but he won't be able to vote.
Okay.
And all I'm suggesting is that give him the ability to vote. It's only for 1 year. It's not for a PEDC term, but it's at least throughout to see what American can decide and also what our future prospects, who we do have, can decide as well. And that's all I'm suggesting.
All right, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
But please keep in mind why that group was here the last time. Thank you.
And I believe, Mr. Parris, that American Spiral Weld understands there's turnover in boards all the time, and Mr. Manning, I know, will be very happy to continue negotiations. So, and as will Mr. Banks, if he were involved, as would Mr. Hughes. But anyway, are there any more discussion on this item?
I'd also like to point out that when Dr. Hashmi's son moved away and vacated his P&Z seat, that this council, I believe you nominated Dr. A.J. Hashmi, Steve, and we voted on him for that remainder of the term. And I believe Mr. Tornado was not pleased because his candidate, Benny Plata, did not get nominated.
And that's why we adopted rules 2 weeks ago to try to make sure that everyone would be fairly represented. Any other discussion? Okay, we have a motion to table and a second. All in favor of tabling this, raise your hand. Okay, the item is tabled. Item number 19, discuss and make appointments to the various boards and commissions. This is the big one, okay. We're going to start these off alphabetically, and I want to do it exactly the way the council wants to do it. As I understand, my plan here, and correct me if I'm wrong, is to, I'll probably just start with Ms. Portugal and just have everybody nominate and that wants to nominate, and you can nominate more than one person since there's more than one place on the board. Probably just nominate one person the first time, and if you have something else you want to nominate, we'll go through a second time. All the people who are nominated will be placed into, it's got to be a hat, sorry. No, I'm just kidding. It'll be placed in the basket. We'll amend our rules for the basket. It'll be placed in the basket, and then we'll draw the names out, and we'll vote in the affirmative only. I just as soon not have people vote in the negative, so we will vote for people, and anyone who gets 4 votes will then be on that committee. Once all the vacant terms are, all the vacancies are determined, then we will stop. Now, it could happen that we will have a new vacancy later on in the process because someone on a board may get on a different committee. So if that happens, Janice, you'll have to keep us honest and let us know we need to go back and continue where we left off. Is that satisfactory to everybody? Okay, we'll start off, and we're going to run into a couple of little snags, and we'll deal with them when we get there. The first one is the Airport Advisory Board. It's we have 3 terms that are, is that right? 3 terms that are open. Yes. And we have, I'll start off the nominations with Ms. Portugal.
I nominate Nathan Jim Bell.
Okay. Mr. Pilgrim? Any nomination? Okay.
No.
I will nominate Anna Spencer.
Okay.
Jim Bell.
Oh, he's already been nominated, so
I'll pass.
you're going to pass? Okay.
I nominate David Taylor.
All right. Any other nominations? Okay. Anybody want any more nominations? Okay, we have 3 nominations for 3 slots. You want to vote on them? I guess we'll vote on them. You want to accept them by?
We have 3 by 3.
3 by 3.
Yeah. Although technically, if someone, I don't think it'll happen, but technically, if someone doesn't want vote for someone, they don't have to. So it's theoretically possible that we could have 3 votes, let's say, and so I guess this will go ahead and do it. It'll just take a minute. All those in favor, we don't need to draw them out randomly. Is that okay with everybody? We don't draw them out randomly since it's 3 for 3 anyway. Anna Spencer is the first one in the list I've got here. So all in favor of Anna Spencer, raise your hand. Great. All in favor of David Taylor, raise your hand. Great. And all in favor of Jim Bell, raise your hand. That's wonderful. That was easy. Band Commission. This is another one. We have 2 vacancies and 2 applicants. I'll just nominate Betsy Mills, and somebody else nominate the other one if you want
Colleen
to.
Hernan.
Okay, we've nominated the 2. All in favor of Betsy Mills, raise your hand. Okay, all in favor of Colleen Hernan, raise your hand. Sounds wonderful. This is going easy. Now, the Building Board of Appeals, John, I know we've had this forever, and we never have the people that qualify. Is there any plans to do anything with this board?
There are, if we can get people on there.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things we're trying to do that are new things. We'd like to use them as an appeals board rather than using the existing appeals board. In the meantime, we'll use the existing boards we have.
Okay. So we'll skip that board since we don't have any applicants for that board. Building and Standards Commission, we have 2 vacancies, and I'll start with Ms. Portugal to nominate.
I'd like to nominate Ken Coles.
Okay.
I'd like to nominate Beverly Johnson.
All right, and one more to go. Anybody want to nominate?
Yes, James Belcher.
Okay, so we got all 3. This is one we'll put it in the hat and draw them out, okay? Tell us which one comes out. Since we have 2 places.
Beverly Johnson.
Okay, Beverly Johnson. All in favor of Beverly Johnson, raise your hand. All right, and I see 6 votes, so she's on the board. Draw the next hat.
Kenneth Coles.
Kenneth Coles. All in favor of Kenneth Coles, raise your hand. I see 3 or 4 votes. Okay, Kenneth Coles is on, and those 2 places are filled. Civil Service Commission,
There's not a vacancy.
no vacancy there, although theoretically, we could have one if Mr. Norman ends up on a different board, so we'll keep that in mind. HPC, Historic Preservation Commission, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 vacancies. I'll open the floor for nominations. Ms. Portugal?
I'd like to nominate Carolyn Patterson.
Carolyn Patterson, just a second. All right, Mr. Pilgrim, do you have a nomination?
I'd like to nominate Matt Coyle.
All right.
Linda Vandiver.
Linda Vandiver,
Pass.
you're gonna pass, okay.
Michael Lazar.
Michael Lazar, okay. And, do you have a nomination? I'll nominate Randy Hyder. And, are there any other nominations? So we have 1, 2, 3 slots and 5 names. Let's proceed on with the names. Which one first?
We have 4 slots.
Oh, 4 slots, I'm sorry. 4 slots and 5 names, my bad, I apologize. So 4 slots and 5 names, so. Okay. Which one's first?
Getting them out. Linda Vandiver.
Linda Vandiver. All in favor of Linda Vandiver, raise your hand. And she is on with 6 votes. Next.
Michael Lazar.
Michael Lazar, all in favor of Michael Lazar, raise your hand. We've got 3 votes. He is not on at this time. Next is whom?
Carolyn Patterson.
Carolyn Patterson. Let's see. All in favor of Carolyn Patterson, raise your hand. And she is not on. Okay. And I was afraid this was going to happen. Next,
Matt Coyle.
Matt Coyle. All in favor of Matt Coyle, raise your hand. We have 6 votes there. So he's on. So who's on so far? Matt Coyle,
And Linda Vandiver.
Linda Vandiver. And is there one more name in the hat? Yes.
Let's see, James Belcher.
No, he was.
No. Randy Hyder. Randy Hyder. Okay. All in favor of Randy Hyder, raise your hand. Okay. We have 7 votes there. He is on. So we still have to put one more on. We can re-vote. We can renominate. What's the pleasure of the council on this? We have 4 people, 4 names, and we can renominate, or we can. I think let's go through another round of nominations, and then we'll re-vote again, and then somebody probably will get 4 votes then. Okay. Nominations.
Carolyn Patterson.
Carolyn Patterson. More.
Mike Lazar.
Michael Lazar. Okay. And you have anybody else? Nobody else? So, okay, Carolyn Patterson, Michael Lazar, pull a name out.
Michael Lazar.
Okay, all in favor of Michael Lazar, raise your hand. And we got 5 votes that time. So he is on. All right. Next will be the the Housing Authority of the City of Paris by charter. This is appointed by the mayor. And I'm going to keep the same 3 people on that are going off. Terry Haynes, Dwayne Dangerfield, and Gary Savage. I'm selecting to go back on the board. Okay. Library Advisory Board. We have 1 vacancy, looks like.
Excuse me, Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
In this particular instance, Mr. Lazar was just elected to the
Oh, you're correct.
HPC.
So does that mean he comes off of the library board?
Yeah.
Okay, so we now have, thank
Okay,
you.
okay.
We now have 2 vacancies on the library board. And we have 5 applicants. I'll open the floor. Ms. Portugal, you have a nomination.
Ashley Lassiter.
Okay. Mr. Pilgrim?
I'll pass.
Okay.
I'd like to nominate Marilyn Threadgill.
Okay.
I'll pass.
It pass. Any other nominations?
I'll pass.
Any other nominations? Okay, I'll pass two. We have two nominations, and so, don't have to pull them out of the hat. We have two spots. Ashley Lassiter, all in favor? And, Marilyn Threadgill, all in favor?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
One of them's going to be not a full term.
Okay, yeah, when we have something without a full term, I propose that once we put people on a board, then, and we know the names of the people who are on the board, then we basically vote for the one that gets the partial term, and just like we vote, if that's satisfactory, that way the council will have a little more decision over it rather than letting it be random. That's my suggestion, if the council's in agreement with that. Is that satisfactory? Okay. No objection to it. Okay, so we have two people. We have a partial on, one of them is a 2-year term, and what is it, 3? I'm sorry.
One's a 2, one's a 3.
One's 2 and one's a 3. Okay, so I'll nominate Marilyn Threadgill for the 3-year term, if that's all right. If you want to do it differently, let me know.
That's fine.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, so that's done. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Main Street Advisory Board, I know Ms. Lauren Corbell removed her name from the list, so she's not available for nomination on this. We have 2 vacancies, is that correct?
Yes.
I'll open the floor for nominations. Go ahead.
I'd like to nominate Carolyn Patterson for Main Street Board.
Carolyn Patterson. I'll nominate Beverly Johnson. And,
I'm going to nominate Jenny Wilson.
okay.
I'd like to nominate Jane Helberg.
Okay. Any other nominations?
Didn't we just nominate, or didn't we just appoint Ms. Johnson to
Oh.
Buildings and
Did we? My bad. I apologize. This is, my apologies. So we need to not nominate her.
No, we,
Oh, well, which one would she prefer to, how do we handle this? She's on this one, and which one did we put?
we put her on, I
Buildings and-
believe it was
Building and
Buildings and
Standards.
Standards.
Is she here today?
He is.
Which board would you prefer to serve on? Building and Standards, so you want us to take your name off the main, okay, thank you. See? So we will take her name off then. And I'll nominate Linda Vandiver, so we've got.
Well, Linda's just
Oh.
been appointed to HPC.
My bad. Can't keep track of all these people. I apologize. Okay, so we have 3 slots, and we have 2 slots and 3 people. Pull the names out of the hat, please.
Okay. Missing one. I'm sorry, y'all. There's Jane. Okay. Jane Helberg.
Okay. Jane Helberg, all in favor of Jane Helberg, raise your hand. Okay. We have 4 votes. Jane is on. And what's the next one?
Jenny Wilson.
Jenny Wilson, all in favor, raise your hand. Okay. And only 2 votes. Now, next would be then Carolyn Patterson, all in favor, raise your hand. Okay. So we've got those boards filled, that one filled. Next comes the PEDC. We have, I think if it's all right, we have 1 unexpired term for 1 year, and we have 2 terms for 3 years. Again, I propose that we put 3 people on through our procedure. Then, once we know the 3 people, we vote on which of these 3 gets the 1-year term, or which of the, or we can vote in the affirmative of which one gets the 3-year term. If that's satisfactory? I'll open it for nominations. Ms. Portugal.
I nominate Richard Manning.
Okay.
I nominate Jay Hodge.
Jay Hodge, okay.
Clifton Findley.
Clifton Finley, okay. Mr. Tornado?
Just a second, okay. I will nominate A.J. Hashmi.
Okay. Ms. Stone?
I nominate Mayor Mark Penge.
Okay. Mr. Let's see. You have a nomination?
Yes. Shay Bills.
Shay Bells. I'd like to nominate Lyle Edwards. And we'll go around again. Are there any other nominations?
Clifton Finley.
He's already been nominated.
Thank
You
you.
got it.
You're going after me now. Any other nominations?
Yes. Carl Cecil.
Carl Cecil, okay. All right. Pull the names out of the hat, please.
Okay. A.J. Hashmi.
All in favor of A.J. Hashmi, raise your hand. Okay, 4 votes, he's on.
Muir.
Mir, okay. All in favor of Mir, raise your hand. Okay. Next,
Richard.
Richard Manning. All in favor of Richard Manning, raise your hand. Okay. Okay. He's on. Next,
Carl Cecil.
all in favor of Carl Cecil, raise your hand. Okay.
Shay Bills.
All in favor of Shay Bills, raise your hand. Okay, and she's on. Okay, those are the 3 places that we have filled. Now we need to have a vote for which of the 3 gets the 1-year term, or do we want to do it, how do we want to do it?
Is it?
May I suggest Richard Manning for the 1-year
I was
term?
gonna say, does Richard want the 1
Yeah.
year?
Okay, all in favor of Richard Manning getting the 1-year term? Okay, 4 votes, he gets the 1-year term. All right. All right, moving on. Planning and Zoning Commission. We have 2 vacancies and several people applying. Ms. Portugal, I'll let you start the nominations.
Mark Pine-Jake.
Hold on, I've lost my paper here.
And Beverly Johnson is off of this one, right?
Yes.
Okay.
EDC. Man, I got
Jane Hilbert too,
And
right?
Jane is too.
And Jane is off too, okay?
Up to-
zoning. Man, I got it backwards bad.
Everyone else is eligible, okay?
Come back to me in just a second.
All right, well, you have another chance, go ahead.
Brady Fisher.
Brady Fisher. Any other nominations?
I nominate Benny Plata.
Benny Plata, okay. And any others?
I
Sims
nominate
Norman.
Sims Norman.
Okay, well,
sorry.
it's a tie. Okay. Any other nominations? All right, pull the names out, please.
Sims. Normant.
Okay, all in favor of Sims, raise your hand. Okay, Sims is on. All right,
Muir.
Mayor, all in favor of Mayor? And he's on. Well, that does it, doesn't it? Okay, Traffic Commission. We have 2 vacancies, and are any of these people not eligible, or are they all eligible?
Carolyn.
Carolyn is not, okay, so we'll strike her off. All right. Go ahead, Ms. Portugal, if you have someone.
Wendell Moore.
Wendell Moore. All right.
Plug Clem.
Plug Clem.
Charles Richards.
Charles Richards. Anybody else have a nomination?
Apparently they said you can do that.
Okay. All right, those are kind of, no more nominations. Okay, those 3. Put them in, please.
Wendell Moore.
All in favor of Wendell Moore? Okay, he's on.
Charles Richards.
All in favor of Charles Richards? And he's on. Okay. And finally, with the Z's Zoning Board of Adjustment, how many people are left that have not already been placed on boards here?
Emerson Fitzgerald, Brady.
The only one
The
is-
last 4.
Ms. Johnson's been appointed already.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize. This is a separate agenda item for some legal reasons. So the Zoning Board of Adjustment has to be voted on as an independent item. So thank you. You know, lawyers, got to keep the lawyers happy.
Well, I didn't write that.
Yeah, but you represent all lawyers, so we're going to link you up with them all. Okay, so next, if I can find my paper here, I'll read the next agenda item. It's buried under all of this stuff.
20.
Okay, thank you. Okay, item number 20, discuss and act on a resolution appointing members to the Zoning Board of Adjustment. I mean, that makes such a big difference. Okay, here we go. So let's proceed with the same procedure. So once again, who is left on this list of people? Who do we strike off here?
We,
First 3.
Beverly
Johnson's
Johnson
on.
and.
Beverly
First 3.
Johnson,
Benny Plotter and, hey,
Benny Plata, and,
Oh,
Benny still.
oh, Benny
Oh,
didn't make it.
still-
Okay.
I thought he won.
We're 6 for 6.
Okay.
Okay, so we strike off Beverly Johnson and, who else?
That's it.
That's it? Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna open that for let's see, we've got, now this is an interesting one. We got 5 places and 2 alternates. And we have how many people? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people. So clearly, I mean, all 6 of these are gonna get, is anybody having an objection? We just accept all 6 of these by acclamation, and then they're all on. Then we have to decide which one gets the alternate term.
And Mr. Mayor, there's also, some of them are gonna be 2-year terms and some of them are gonna be,
Oh, boy. So, yes, you're correct. Some are 2-year terms and one is 2 or 1, well, but both of the alternates are 1-year terms, looks like. Is that right?
It's not supposed to be that way, though. A couple of years ago, it got messed up. It should be 2 of one and 3 of the other with the regular members. You can keep it this way if you choose to do so, but
What would be your suggestion?
I think you should do some of, at least 2 of them as 1-year terms and 2 of them as, or 3 of them as 2-year terms.
I have no preference at all on the 2-year and the 1-year terms or the alternate or anything. Anybody have any idea how you want to do this? Would it be acceptable for us to let the Zoning Board of Adjustment meet and determine that amongst themselves, or is that something we're going to need to do as the council?
You could probably do that if you wanted to.
Or is that going to cause problems?
That's correct. You can do that.
I mean, there may be some people that are really, really eager to serve on this board, and they might be going to be there. There might be other people who signed up just maybe they want to do it partially, maybe let the enthusiasm for the board determine who gets the 2-year terms and the 1-year terms. If we can do that legally, okay?
I think you can do that, yes.
Okay. Does anybody have a problem with that? Then we'll put all of these people on the boards. We'll have five members and 1 alternate, and we'll let the board itself, when they meet, determine who's the alternate and determine what the terms are. And they can, if they can't decide, they could just randomly do it, which we could do right now. But
Well, I would ask that you go ahead and pick which one's going to be the alternate.
okay. So why don't we have a nomination for which one we want to be the alternate?
I nominate Chris Fitzgerald for alternate.
Okay. Any other nominations for alternate? All right, all in favor of Chris Fitzgerald being alternate? Okay, well, that was easy. All right.
Am I reading this wrong? Aren't there 7 places?
Yes, it's
I
one,
think I
eight,
read this
4, 5,
wrong when
6,
I was saying,
7.
oh, well, we've got 6 for 6.
Well, but there were
But we-
2 alternate places.
Right.
If you don't have a second alternate to appoint, you
It's
can appoint
vacant.
1 alternate.
Okay, gotcha.
We have a vacancy.
So we won't be looking at this again for the second alternate later on?
We would leave it open, so if we get another applicant, then we would bring that back to you at the time.
Or if somebody finds they can't make it or have a hard time making the meeting, because this is one of those committees that pretty much everybody has to be there, as I understand.
Gotcha. That sounds good.
All right. And we are now on item number 21, thank you. Discuss and appoint city council members to serve as liaisons on the various boards and commissions. Let's go back through them, I guess, just alphabetically, and we can have more than 1 liaison if more than 1 person wants to. Is that kosher? We can do that, or we can have none. So basically, I don't want to shut anybody off of a board that they want to be on. We'd like to cover all the boards if we can. So let's start off with Airport Advisory Board. Anyone want to be the airport liaison?
I would like to continue.
Okay. Anyone else wish to be on the airport liaison? Okay, Ms. Portugal is the airport liaison. Building Board, no, never mind that. Building and Standards Commission, anyone wish to be the,
Commission?
did I skip band commission? Darn
I
it.
didn't know if they needed.
Yeah, I'd like to be the liaison. I like to play saxophone, so. I've actually played in a municipal band for many years. I'm not going to get to this summer, but it's a phenomenal organization, by the way. I just can't say enough good things about it. So I'd like to be the liaison to the band commission. Building and Standards Commission, who wants to be liaison for that? We don't have to have anybody. We don't have to, so.
I'll do it.
Okay. Mr. Hughes, thank you, sir. And I have lost page 4, which is housing. I know we don't have to have that. Library Advisory Board, anyone wish to be liaison?
Historic Preservation Commission.
Shoot, my bad again. Historic Preservation Commission, who wants to be liaison for that? Yes, ma'am.
I would like to remain.
There you go. Okay. Library Advisory Board. Anyone, it's not essential that we have a liaison to the library board unless somebody particularly wants to. Main Street. Anybody want to be liaison to Main Street? Okay, Mr. Pilgrim. Planning and Zoning, I've been on it for a couple of years. I'll just plan on staying on it, and you want to be on it too? Okay, we'll have a,
Raise their hand for it.
huh?
You and who else?
And Mr. Tornado.
Okay, thank you.
Traffic Commission, any interest there, being a liaison? Zoning Board of Adjustment, any interest in having a liaison? Okay. And anybody want, with that, got it all covered?
We've got a few more.
EDC.
Ah, dadgummit. I apologize. My pages are sticking together. PEDC, who wants to be liaison?
I'd like to remain.
Okay, you'd like to be on?
Yes.
Okay, I'm in complete agree. Is it okay to have 3 people? I don't have a problem with that, if it doesn't violate any rules. I think the more communication we have with the council and the PEDC, the better. So is that gonna be all right?
Yeah,
If that's what you want to do.
yeah, I mean, they're non-voting members.
Yeah.
They're public meetings in any case, so.
Yeah, so let's do that, okay. All right.
We've also got,
Who are the representatives for EDC?
Mr. Tornado, Mr. Hughes, and Ms. Portugal.
Gotcha, thanks.
Is that it?
Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
We also have the Artex Council of Government. Requires a member of the city council serve. It's routinely been the mayor.
I'll serve.
Okay.
Put me down.
And then we also have the VCNC, which is the mayor, city manager, and one council member.
Anyone on VCNC want to be a liaison? Okay, Mr. Hughes, anyone else want to be a liaison to VCNC?
I need to say something, Steve.
Yes.
Okay, you talked about AdCog a while ago. Did you bring that up, AdCog? ATCOG?
Yes.
Okay, did you take that?
Yeah.
Okay, I've been on that. And
Okay,
I'd like
you
to do it
wanna-
again. I'd like to do it again.
Go ahead, go ahead.
And I will also tell you all that there's an executive committee on that board of directors that a council member can serve.
That's what I was on.
Okay, you want to
Okay,
do?
you want to serve on that?
Yes,
Okay,
please.
great, great.
Okay, and then we also have the Love Civic Center. The bylaws require that one council member serve on the Love Civic Center as ex officio.
I'll do that.
Okay, Ms. Stone, thank you. Ms.
I'm sorry,
Stone,
who?
Ms. Stone.
Okay, thank you.
All right. And that brings us to, we've got them all covered, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Item number 22, discuss and act on an ordinance amending section 34-22B water rates, section 3423 ABC sewer rates to reflect changes recommended by the 2018 water and sewer rate study. We need a motion to take this item off the table. I make a motion that we remove it from the table.
Second.
All in favor? Okay.
Council, as you know, this was presented last month, and there was a delay so that we could make sure that the public was aware that y'all were going to be considering that. The Paris News publicized it quite a bit. We added a notation to the water bills for the 2 cycles that have gone out since the last meeting up till this meeting, trying to inform the public that y'all would be voting. And so, as staff, we're again recommending that you approve one of the 2 options that the rate consultant presented to you, either option 1 or option 2. I think the manager at the last meeting recommended option 1 because it does a better job of protecting the lower consumers, which are usually our senior citizens for the most part, and I would agree with that recommendation.
Okay. Well, do we have any discussion on this? Now, there were 2 options, as I recall. There was you want to go over those options with us again? Do you have that on a slide?
I think there's a slide somewhere in there. Basically, the 2 options, they're going to end up in the end raising the same amount of money. But option 1 favors residential consumers who consume smaller amounts. And that tends to be our senior citizens. Those are more so than not. And option 2 favors those who are higher consumers. Other than that, there's really no difference. And it's just a matter of which philosophy or which policy the council wants to address on who it ought to favor.
Okay.
Historically, we favored the low user,
The what?
the low consumer, you know,
Okay.
just because it represents our senior citizens for the most part.
All right, any discussion on this?
I have a question. And we asked this, I asked this last time when we talked about this. I'm real concerned about sewer rates. How is that going to be affected? Is that, I mean, it looks like, it says here, sewer rates to reflect changes recommended by this that we're getting ready to vote on?
Yes.
Are sewer rates going up also if we vote
Yes,
to?
ma'am. This is water and sewer rates.
Okay.
The sewer rates are what are they're underperforming, the current rates are underperforming more on the sewer side than on the water side. And if you think about it in terms of what it takes to treat water and what it takes, raw water versus sewer, it obviously should take more to treat the sewer because of what you're starting out with. You know, and what you have to get it to. When we release the sewer water that's been treated, it's actually far cleaner than what it is when we take it out of the lake. In fact, you could drink it, you know, without any concern. So it's just the standards that we're having to meet for that. do add to the cost.
So does this that you proposed on this slide that says, currently it's, let's see, for the current, it's, for the 5/8 inch through 3/4 inch, it says 1229, and scenario 1, it would raise to 1266. Okay, I think it's on the slide, sir, that's on the,
Page 18,
up there? Okay.
It's on the screen, though.
Okay.
Now, where's sewer in this? In these proposed figures, where's the sewer?
On that particular slide that he has up there, that is just sewer.
That is sewer? Okay, wastewater, okay, gotcha.
It's the fancy word for
In the
I see.
wastewater plant,
Stop.
198 and 534
Stop.
in scenario
I apologize, he's distracting me. Okay, so the proposed residential wastewater rates look like they're gonna go up about, what, 34 cents, 30-something cents?
Yeah, about 36 cents
Okay, 36 cents per month.
per month.
Okay, and then where's the water? Okay. And the water looks like it's gonna go up like 90 cents, something like that? I'm just rounding.
38 cents. or
38
so,
cents.
yeah.
38
Well, no,
cents
30
for water?
32 cents.
Okay, 32. So our bills will go up based on volume. Okay. I just kind of wanted to know what we were looking at
Yeah,
here.
$4.38 together between the two, under scenario 1. There's a slide that shows that shows a total monthly bill. Right.
Yeah, 438. Back,
One forward.
too far again.
That's commercial. One that says total bills, total monthly bill in the heading.
Other way,
Right there.
right there.
All right, let me look at this.
That shows what the current monthly bill is and what scenario 1 and scenario 2. The average residential consumer, Linda, is around that 5,000 gallons a month, which is the center one there. So if you averaged all consumers, low consumers, high consumers, people that water the yard, people that don't, on average, it's going to be $4.38 if you pick scenario 1 and $4.33 if you pick scenario 2. And I know that you have to also remember, it's been 4 years since we raised rates. Okay, so
Right.
this is not a one year to next year change. This is a change over 4 years.
What is the 2,000 gallons? What is that right there?
That represents a low user.
The low user, okay, and then the 5,000 gallon is the intermediate user and?
It's a system-wide average, the 5,000 is, if you averaged everybody.
So the low folks, the low users, their bills will only go up like $1.23 per month, and that's sewer and water?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
I just think it's important to remember that water rates have to be enough to cover the cost of the service. It's probably one of the most important things that the city provides to our citizens, clean water and get rid of wastewater. And to pay for that, you have to recover the cost of the service to do that. And this service also helps you account for your water loss. The state requires that cities keep track of their water loss, and it helps us to establish a capital reserve. Our bond issue is dependent upon what our capital reserves are. So we're in a good position right now with our bond rating, correct?
Correct.
Okay. We don't want to go down, do we?
We don't, in case we want to issue more. I think one other thing to mention or remind you of, that the primary driver of why it's going up, like it's going up, was our industrial users, the ones that are under contract, reduced their consumption substantially. All of them did. And that can vary from year to year, but this year they all managed to lower what they used. And the water system, if you think about it in terms of rates, you think of it like a balloon. If you squeeze it down on this end, it's got to expand on the other end. Well, the contract customers, they manage to squeeze down, which is forcing everything else up. And that was the primary driver this year in the rate change.
I think something to look at, and I don't like raising bills anytime. I don't like bills. They're not fun. But it's something, it's a necessary evil. We've got to, I challenge anybody to go out to our wastewater facility and go out to our water facility. And definitely in my lifetime, we'll be replacing both of them. It's part of it. It's the circle of life. I mean, we build it and we use it, and then we tear it up and we build a new one and bigger and better, and that's what we have to do. So as a long-term project, I think it's a no-brainer. We have to raise it. Now, we're pretty incremental here in our raising, and I think that's, not too much to ask of the city of Paris.
Gene, have water rates ever gone down? You're talking like, okay, industrial users markedly decrease their uses of water, and now the citizens of Paris have to pay for it. So are you saying then next year, if the industrial users use more water, you're going to come back and recommend a rate decrease? Because I've never seen anyone recommend a rate decrease.
I don't know that I've ever recalled.
I know isn't that strange? I just
if it were a huge increase, then I think you'd probably see us come back. But if it does increase, what you can use that for, necessarily than coming back and reducing it, and bouncing up and down on the rate, try to use that to make them level out and go 4 years, 5 years in between them.
Yeah.
Nobody likes to see their rate go up and down like a yo-yo.
just bothersome that it's like everything else in government. It always goes up. It never goes down, and it arguably should go down periodically, other than because of inflation. But that's the thing that concerns me. I'm kind of a smaller government kind of guy, and everything I see, we never go the other direction. We're always getting a little bigger, and that means more taxes for everyone to pay. This is relatively small, and it seems like we probably do need to do this. But next year, come back and tell us, hey, our industrial users used a lot more water. Now we can cut your rates, and then we'll roll out a red carpet to you, okay?
And look at that.
Okay. All right. Any more discussion on this?
Yes. For the industry use, I mean, I know we have Campbell Soup in the house, and they shut a line down, but they do have another line opening up soon, though, don't they? Which would hopefully cause their water rates to go back up. Is that correct?
Yeah, hopefully they'll pay more and everybody else
that's
will
what
pay less.
yeah, more usage out of
You have to
Campbell
look
Soup.
at it, not just year to year, but also long term. When I first came to the city, Campbell Soup used half the water we produce.
Yeah.
They use probably a third or less than we produce now. They're always trying to use less and less water and be more efficient, so, and you don't blame them for that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, Gene.
All right. I need a motion here.
I'll make a motion.
What is that? State that motion.
I would go scenario 1.
Yeah, and I'm kind of in agreement with scenario 1 over scenario 2. I don't know how that we could certainly have a motion on either one of them, but I think is the council in agreement that 1 is the one we want to discuss or vote on? Okay. So motion for scenario 1. Have a second? Okay. All in favor? Raise your hand. Okay. Item number 23, discuss and direct staff to make possible changes to sidewalks and grassy strips along Church Street as part of the Church Street reconstruction project. Ms. Norman is going to come up and give a presentation about this, and I think if Janice, you have her slides, if you could put them up there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you want him to do this? He can do this.
My name is Becky Normant. I live at 606 Church Street. I've lived in this neighborhood for 20 years in a home that was built by my husband's family in 1922. I'm a downtown business, I'm nervous. I'm a downtown business owner and own and have remodeled 2 downtown buildings. I've lived in Paris for 45 years. I serve and have volunteered on several boards, including the Historic Preservation Board. I currently serve on Paris ISD Board of Trustees and the Paris Regional Medical Center Board of Trustees. I'll tell you that because I want you to know I'm a reasonable person. I'm asking the city to retake a look at the design of the sidewalks that are to be done in our neighborhood. Currently, the plan, I have these in order, but really just, oh, they all got mixed up. So, is there a Church Street 1 right there? Okay. I'll do this and then we'll run through it and I'll tell you what's what. Currently, the plan is to have the green strip of grass between the sidewalk and the street. I'm requesting the city to move the sidewalk to the street as shown here and eliminate the green strip that is mostly weeds. Several years ago, the city redid this sidewalk on the north side of our house on Brame Street, and the sidewalk was moved to the street. This allows for much lower maintenance and a much cleaner looking neighborhood. The narrow strip of grass is good in theory and does lend itself to a welcoming neighborhood feel, but only when the area is kept and mowed. Many homes on our street are not, as there are also many vacant houses and lots. This is a gateway to our community. It's not only important to our neighborhood, but to the city of Paris. It's important for me when my friends and family drive into Paris. Part of the argument that I've heard about the city had a meeting for the neighborhood to discuss the changes. I was out of town. I missed that meeting, and I'm regretful. But part of the argument that I've heard about not changing this at this point is that the poles have already been set and will not be moved. The poles at my house are in the concrete, and driving around town, there are poles set in concrete all over town. I have provided pictures of the sidewalk to the north of my house. This is it, so that you can see what I'm talking about. The next picture, and it's Church Street 2, I think. That's my neighbor on the north, and this sidewalk requires that strip be edged 3 times rather than 1. So that's a maintenance issue. My neighbor in this picture is in agreement with this change. I have provided pictures of our street and the new street and sidewalks on Pine Bluff Street. Many of those on Pine Bluff Street are unkept as well, even though it's a new street that's only been opened a year, maybe, and does not encourage an inviting neighborhood feel. I have provided a list of neighbors that are in agreement with this change. We as citizens can do very little to clean up our neighborhood other than our own homes. However, I think with this change, we could make a cleaner appearance of our neighborhoods. So this is Church Street. Church Street. Church Street.
Church Street again, and I think maybe one more. We can go to Pine Bluff Street 1 there. This is the new sidewalk. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is Church Street that got labeled wrong. This is in front of the Maxey House, which is not kept and probably has state funding to keep that. That's down the street from me. That's, again, Church Street. Church Street. Maybe the Pine Bluff didn't get in. Can you go back up to the one on the very top where it says Pine Bluff 11? Okay, that's Church.
That's Pine
That
Bluff,
is
yeah.
Pine Bluff there. And we can just go down the list there. Pine Bluff again. And you see how, I mean, I love green and I love the environment. And it's evidence. I mean, we really work on our yard. But I love maintenance and a clean look better than I love weeds. And that's what, that is Pine Bluff. And that's what the green strip lends itself to when there's not someone there that either cares or lives there to take care of it. That, again, is Pine Bluff. I think that's enough pictures. So, thank you for your time.
Ms. Norman, as the people that they're in favor of this, how many names do you have, and do they live on Church Street? Tell me about
These
that.
all live on Church Street. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Did
I
you?
have 12.
Okay.
I have one opposed.
So one opposed, but you got 12, or
Well,
counting yourself, 13.
And I have, I started this last week, and I was out of town over the weekend. There were some people I did not get to talk to, and a couple of undecideds.
But you're feeling that a large majority of the people that live on Church Street would like to see it done this way?
That has been my feel after talking to the neighborhood.
Okay.
But it's the neighborhood, but it's also the city of Paris. When people come in from the south, when they come in from Dallas, the 1924 makes the turn there by what used to be, it's Bill Bass now, makes the turn. But we're a high traffic, high view area, and a lot of people just come on up Church Street. So thank you for your
Okay.
time.
Mr. Godwin, you have any comments on this?
No, only that, the design was to replicate what's in place now, and we still think that's the best design if it works. If it doesn't work, if it's not practical, no matter how good the design is, it doesn't work. As you and I talked on the phone the other day, if in fact the folks who live on this street and own property on this street and pay taxes off this street, if they want it to be changed, then I think that's what we should probably do. And I stand by that, and of course, we've got a council member that lives on the street as well. Would love to have it done and everybody took care of their stuff, but everybody doesn't, and we know that, so I understand where you're coming from. But I think that's just a council decision now to bring you up to date. Bids were actually opened last Thursday. We only received one bid at that time, so that'll be back on your agenda in 2 weeks from tonight. I'm getting echo for some reason. 2 weeks from tonight. At that point, you can do two things, at least two. You could reject that bid, we could rebid it, and depending on what you tell us tonight, we could change that. Or if you decide, and we'll discuss that another agenda item, but another meeting, if you decide to go ahead and approve that bid, then we could approve a change to that, authorize a change order.
Is that going to change the bid at all?
There will be a cost. In fact, Ms. Easton has kind of some rough estimates on that cost because it's additional concrete.
Well, if the sidewalk's moving over but not getting wider, which is what I was assuming was the case, that won't be more concrete, will it?
No, I didn't know if that was. I don't know. I'm not sure what the plan was. So
anytime you have a proposed sidewalk right behind the back of curb, you for sure want it wider than 4 feet because you've got kids, strollers right next to traffic. That's kind of the purpose of that grassy strip, is to provide a little bit of separation from the street to the pedestrians, and that's what you typically see in a residential setting. It's more of a commercial look to have the sidewalk right to the back of curb. It's doable. There's nothing that says you can't do it that way, but you certainly want to widen the sidewalk when you do that.
typically you'll have 5 feet versus 4 if you're going to up against a curb. So
In this case, we're proposing a 2-foot strip from back of curb. I know there's some pictures where that looks to be 6 inches or less, so it is kind of a funny little place for weeds to grow. But our proposed design has a 4-foot sidewalk with a 2-foot buffer between back of curb to that sidewalk. In some cases, we'll actually have a little more green space than that because the sidewalk, the right-of-way widens out and kind of in the middle section of Church Street. So it would be about.
Another reason you have to widen that too is because of the poles that would be coming in the concrete. You have to widen to accommodate the ADA. So what do you think the impact on the,
I don't know, did you come up with an estimate yet, or will?
It'd be about $100,000 to add 2 foot. So to the overall contract, that's what we're looking at. See, that would get us a 6-foot sidewalk on both sides of the street instead of 4. Plus maybe a little bit more for the curb ramps because it is more concrete.
And again, you've got at least 2 weeks before you have to make any final decision on this. If it's a direction you want to go, then you can direct us to work on it, and we'll bring you back more specific stuff and more specific proposals and plans in 2 weeks or not.
My feeling's always to go with the residents. But yeah, it does cost a little more money, and I see the pros and the cons to it, but the pictures are pretty convincing of that this is reality, what we're seeing there. In the ideal world, maybe we would like to see it this way. I can't believe Maxie hasn't been edged. That's really surprising to me. I saw it the other day. But that's kind of my inclination. What's the feeling of the council? What's y'all's opinion on this?
I went and toured around and looked at all the stuff that she's talking about, and I agree. And there's something to say about edging. If you have 100 feet of frontage on the road there, you're edging an extra 2 times. And it's hard whenever, especially in the dead of the summer, we're having to sprinkle those areas across there as well to keep the grass green, just like on the other side. So you're wetting the sidewalks down and everybody walking on them anyway. So I think there's and then of course a lot of people don't like to tend to their stuff. So it keeps and that is your thoroughfare coming into Paris, and we're working on downtown. That's our
it's arguably the most historic part of Texas, of Paris, and people come to see Church Street because it's so historic. And anyway, any other comments on this?
Yeah, you talked about both Church Street and Pine Bluff, but the bid is just for Church Street?
Just for Church. Pine Bluff's already done, yeah.
I just wanted to show you what was done at Pine Bluff and how it has not been kept and what it looks like.
I go Pine Bluff a lot, and I watched them before the project was finished, putting in extra dirt, filling in, making them level, sodding grass, coming back week after week to water it. And it's now from the green grass growing over the curb. You can't even see the curb in some places. It's a failure when you don't have people that care for their property like the Normans and the Knoxes.
Well, I would love to have a curb in front of my house so that I can edge. I'm looking forward to that. I just had a question. So you're talking about 6-foot wide sidewalks. Right now, how wide are they? Right now, I think they're not 4
36,
feet
they're
wide.
3.5 to 4 feet in some areas, but
Okay,
less
so
than
you're going to
4.
keep the sidewalk
Well, our current
towards the
plan-
house and then just extend it to the street, right?
Right, the
You're
back
not-
edge line is about a foot off the right-of-way in most instances. In some cases, it's right on the right-of-way where we only have 4 feet, 40 feet of right-of-way. So it would widen towards the back of the curb. We would
Towards
just
the
fill
curb,
in,
you're
the
not going to
alignment
go
stays
towards
the same.
towards the houses. Okay, all right,
We're
I got
limited
you.
on right-of-way, so
Okay,
we
yeah,
have to
that
keep it in
sounds-
the public area.
All right, what's the feeling of the council on this? Is this a motion on, or would this be direct to staff? Is that what we would do?
I think if you're all in agreement, that just kind of generally telling us that's what you want us to bring back to you in 2 weeks, or something more specific, that's what we'll do. And I'm seeing a lot of nodding of heads, so that's.
I'm kind of in
that's
favor
enough
of it.
to tell
What's
us.
the consensus? Is
I'll
anyone?
I'll make a motion to let's
It's not a motion on us, I guess we can't, but we can certainly, by a show of hands, agree to direct staff to pursue this. And certainly those that wish to, okay, there we go. So we wish to direct you to pursue this.
And we'll bring you information about that in 2 weeks when we talk about the actual construction project.
Wonderful, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Norman, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, and my apologies to the city for being late.
Item number 24, receive and discuss annual departmental reports from EMS, police, fire, and library.
First up is the library, first and not last, but kind of slow. Priscilla McAnally is the library director and has been for a number of years.
So I don't have to introduce myself. Hi. I'm going to be really brief. I've got 3 things I want to talk about tonight. And I should have brought my glasses so I could read this. First thing is the roof that we repaired 3 years ago. Well, hope I don't tear them up. For the new council members, we had part of the roof in the library replaced 3 years ago. The cost of that was $37,275. Since then, we've made payments of $24,140, leaving a balance of $13,135. I've got budgeted in fiscal year 19, $8,140 for payment, which will leave $4,995 to pay off in fiscal year 2020. So we'll be through with that. The bad news is the original part of the library, that part of the roof wasn't redone. It will need to be redone sometime in the near future, possibly in the next 4 to 5 years. I don't have an estimate on that. I'll get you one next year, though. The other important thing I want to talk to you about is the art in the library. For those new members on the council that may not know, the Paris Public Library is the permanent home to art by nationally known artists Jerry Bywaters, John Biggers, and Jose Cisneros. 3 years ago, we started a art conservation restoration project. We did John Chisholm in 2015. This year, with the help of the Friends of the Library, we were able to send another one down. David Crockett, he'll be coming home this week. He has been restored, cleaned, and reframed. The Library Advisory Board and the Friends of the Library are working on ongoing fundraising because this is a several-year project. We have 2 more Bywaters and the Biggers mural that need work done. The Friends of the Library were generous enough to pay for David Crockett themselves this year. We've raised some money. We've probably raised about $3,000 between some projects that we've done that will pay part of the next one, which is reconstruction. As you can tell, I'm like Becky, I'm a little nervous. Other than that, we continue to do what libraries do: checkbooks in, checkbooks out, have programming, answer questions. We're continually working on the collection, whether it's weeding, adding new stuff, repairing things. Since January this year, we have circulated over 51,000 items. We've got just under 10,000 people that have library cards, active library cards. And that's about all I have to say. Do y'all have any questions?
I have a
Yes,
question.
ma'am.
I know that in the past, Dr. Biggers' mural has gone out on exhibit on loan to...
Yeah, that was in 94 or 95. And I did, last year, a company down in Houston was doing an exhibit of his work. They wanted to borrow it. We were fine with that, but their funding didn't cover the transportation down there and back, so we didn't go. But yeah, it was out in, I think, 94, 95 for about almost 2 years.
Right. Well, I just didn't know if it was still on loan at different places, and if they could maybe assist with some of the restoration.
No, that's the only time it's been out on loan. And like I said, this last year they asked, but it didn't go. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Anybody else have any other questions? Okay.
Don't believe so. Anything?
Told you I'd be brief.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Appreciate it.
And then Kent Klinkerman is our EMS chief. Kent's also in charge of IT for the city of Paris. A lot of people don't realize that's an unusual combination. Kent knows it all.
Okay, that's a good setup. I just want to make some brief remarks regarding some goals that we've achieved and some issues that we need to deal with when it comes to the IT department as well as the EMS department. As the name implies, the technology department is just that. We deal with all the technology for all the city employees. All the departments use technology for one thing or another, all trying to be more efficient, more effective. The technology department supports them. We build out the network, all the different hardware that you can ever heard of, and dealing with it. We maintain that, from switches and routers, servers, PCs, scanners, printers, MDTs, tablets, iPads, phones, security cameras, you name it, we support it. All of those things, all those pieces of hardware, all have to be life cycled. They're just like anything else. They get used up and wear out of obsolete. You have to replace things. We do that. City manager makes sure that that happens by providing us with funding for the life cycle of those things. We also support all the software that all of the different departments utilize. Every single department has their own software, and they all have to have their own little specialist inside that software that we help support and solve problems with as well. The two things that I wanted to talk about as far as accomplishments for IT was we did a website refresh. We worked on it for numerous months. I don't know how many people have gone to it or not. Haven't checked the numbers lately. But it was a long-term project. All the departments were involved. They now have the ability to, since they've all been trained, to review their content, keep it relevant, keep it fresh. There's new pictures, there's new content. You can do things like reserve a ball field or a park or anything like that through the website as well. It scales to the size of the screen now so that it looks good on anything that you look at it on.
Thank you.
That was a priority. The other thing that we did this year is that we did a refresh on our VoIP phone system for the main complexes downtown, the Cisco system, and that keeps us in compliance with our licenses and with our functionality. It was behind the scenes. No one knew about it. No one thinks about it, but it was a pretty high dollar and pretty involved with technical support. Now it comes to the EMS department. As, like I said, we provide the medical transportation for the City of Paris and Lamar County. As all we've seen over the years, especially the last 3 or 4 years, is continued growth. As our population ages, we have a higher utilization by them. We passed 8,000 requests for service a couple of years ago. Last year we hit a new record of 8,650 calls, and we're on track to do over 9,000 calls this year. We're doing it with the same amount of staff that we had before. We have 3 full-time trucks and 1 demand truck that works during the day. The other thing that's driving our guys' times is the documentation. Anybody that knows anything about insurance and medicine, you got to document everything if you have any hope or chance to recover any money to try to offset. We do that very vigorously, trying to offset our costs. So that's driving our guys' times. The other thing that's driving our guys' times is that we're transporting more patients away from Paris than we ever have. The reason why we're doing that, we have 2 new freestanding ERs. They take patients to Tyler and to Sulphur Springs and to the Metroplex. We also have a lot of patients going back up into Oklahoma from PRMC. Since they recruit patients down, the patients have to get back to the nursing homes and assisted livings and things like that. We're doing that as well. That represents, since in 2018, over 400 transports just in 2018. So we have increased call volume, increased documentation, and increased time on these calls. This is the reason why I asked the city manager to add myself another transfer person that would be on that demand truck. We went from 5 days a week with that demand truck to 7 days a week, just to try to keep up with all of the transition of patients to and from the hospital. That is what I'm hoping I can get included. We continue to life cycle the ambulances. Right now I have all these things that are driving the mileage up. I have 3 ambulances that have 200,000 miles on them right now. And we're getting a new ambulance within the next two weeks in this fiscal year. And we will continue to ask for a new ambulance every year. A 7-year ambulance always has more than 200,000 miles on it. the new ambulance station. It's slowly getting there. I couldn't even begin to describe the number of ways a project can be delayed. Right now, it's the weather. There is structural steel up. We have a slab, hallelujah. And they're supposed to be doing sheathing on the walls and the roof and try to get in the dry to start moving forward on the inside. They look like the completion date will be sometime around September. Fingers crossed. And that's all I have unless you'll have some questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And Chief Wright from the Fire Department.
No, I'm not asking for any new fire trucks this year. I just want to bring you up to date on some of the projects we're planning on working on with this new budget. The first one that I've got is station upkeep. We have 2 fire stations that are 20 years old. We've got one that's 52 years old. And as you know, as your home, there's maintenance that has to be done on these fire stations and your home periodically just to make sure that they stay in good shape. And with the fire stations, we live in it 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. So that being said, I'm planning on spending some money on fire station number 1 this year. We just replaced 2 air conditioner units this year. We're talking about some new flooring, possible some ceiling tile, just aesthetics to try to keep the thing going. And it's, appliances go out, hot water heaters go out, probably more air conditioning units will go out. We have 8 units at that station, so it takes a lot of upkeep. I'll still continue to request money every year from the city manager to budget for those items, and it'll vary from year to year. The next thing we're going to be working on next year very, very strongly is cancer screening and prevention. The National Institute of Occupational Safety and Health, NIOSH, just recently undertook 2 studies focusing on firefighter cancer and concluded that firefighters face a 9% increase in cancer diagnosis and a 14% increase in cancer-related deaths as compared to the general population. And as of today, Congress passed a bill that's on the president's desk that's going to order NIOSH and NFPA to start keeping statistics on firefighter cancer and use them to develop a scenario where we can start making some measures of prevention. Many things contribute to this, and it's just come to light in the last few years. It comes from not cleaning our turnout gear properly, not having adequate ventilation systems in the fire station to prevent the diesel fumes from inhaling diesel fumes. The gear is one of the main things we're working on right now, trying to get the proper gear on the firefighters and the protection they need against that. And then to exacerbate the problem, we're being exposed to gases and burn products containing cancerous carcinogenic materials, which are a byproduct of the new types of materials that we're seeing in the homes and the businesses. So we're embarking on a program to address our approach to firefighting and wearing apparel. We'll continue to follow the guidelines set forth by the National Fire Protection Association, and we'll be screening firefighters for cancer along with developing new techniques for fireground activities, less exposure time to the fire elements. When I started my career 39 years ago, if your gear wasn't dirty, you weren't a firefighter. And if you weren't the first one in the house, you weren't the best firefighter. And now we're taking a different approach to this, especially cleaning the gear. We have 2 sets of gear for each firefighter, so once they've had a structure fire, they can take that gear off immediately, put on clean structure firefighting equipment, and then they can immediately wash the ones that they had at the fire. Another thing we're embarking on, and this is new, it's called IED chemical purchases. As y'all well know from the Austin incident and many incidents around the United States, starting with the Murrah building bombing, purchasing of commercial materials at retail stores, or a purchase of that, those materials are being used to develop IEDs, or explosive devices. The Paris Fire Department, along with the police department and sheriff's departments, we're taking steps to inform local retailers in Lamar County on how to spot purchases which are unusual combination or in quantities which are not normal. It's called a bomb-making material awareness program. And Chief Hunley has sent a police officer, and I've sent a firefighter to Anniston, Alabama, to become instructors on how to teach this class. We're going to reach out to the retailers that we feel possibly have chemicals or materials that could be used to make IEDs. And we're going to start training their personnel, specifically cashiers and salespeople, on what to spot. We'll give them quick reference cards and so forth. You know, the federal government has that See Something, Say Something campaign, and this is another campaign program they're pushing out, and we've endorsed it, and we're going to try to use it. Active shooter guidelines, I know that's on everybody's mind. Fire, police, and sheriff's department, we continue to work on a guideline for handling active shooters, whether in the school or anywhere else. We want to be unified when we get to the scene of an incident like this. So we're including the school district, police departments, as well as the PJC Police Department. In recent school shootings, and I think particularly the one in Florida, and it wasn't the perpetrator, it was a student that actually pulled the fire alarm. And what's happening is they're using the fire alarm system to get the kids out of the classroom, so they're sitting ducks. We're talking with the principals and the superintendents about maybe changing our approach to fire drills and fire alarms. You know, as we all grew up, you know, we'd have 4 or 5 fire drills a year. The bell would go off and everybody'd have a place to go and they'd leave the building and all that. We're thinking more seriously now about maybe focusing on holding the kids for a few minutes in the classroom so that either a teacher or a police officer can check out the area where the fire drill came in to see if in fact there is a fire scenario or an incident. If there is, obviously we would evacuate the kids. But this will give us a brief amount of time to check things out before we turn all these kids out in the hallway, because they're using it as a tool. Finally, on our protective equipment for the fire service, as I mentioned before, it's a vital goal to protect the firefighter. And each firefighter, like I told you, has 2 sets of turnout gear. That's the bunker coat and the bunker pants. They have 2 hoods, 2 sets of gloves, and so we're stressing to the firefighters, the minute you can get the gear off after a structure fire, get it off. And we haven't gotten to the point where some departments are making them actually bag it at the scene, but we are making them take it off, immediately clean it. We're going to purchase a commercial wash machine for Fire Station 1. We have a wash machine that we use once a year to clean the gear, but we're going to purchase one that's not so harsh on the gear so we can use it over and over and over again in the year and keep that stuff clean. Finally, this is Ms. Haygood about code enforcement, and I'm the supervisor over the code enforcement. You know, the city council this year allocated an extra full-time employee for our abatement crew, which has helped tremendously. It started mid-year, and that allows us to break out the crews into 3s, two per crew if we can. And so we're getting to the lots a little bit faster than we did last year. Unfortunately, we've got 700 lots that we're trying to keep mowed. And if any of y'all got a yard, you know that you mow it and the next week it's grown up again. At least mine does. So we will work an area, and we do a lot of what they call mass mowing, where we just go down the street and mow everything we see. And right now we're in a reactive situation because of the number of calls we're getting. We're sending out on an average of 300 registered letters a month at, like Ms. Haygood said, it's about $6.75 per letter. And it's by law we have to do that. We have to notify the homeowner of their violation before we can take action. So we have to send them out the letter. notify them of their violation, give them 10 days to rectify it, then we can take action. And they go on a list. And, you know, Paris is a big city, and we've got a lot of junk and rubbish in this city. And there's a lot of people that don't care about their property. So, believe me, we're not drinking coffee. We're out on the street, and we're working as hard as we can to address these, along with the dilapidated buildings that we're tearing down on a record number. So, some of the facts about our abatement process, you know, we have approximately 700 lots that we mow on a regular basis during the summer. We have approximately 300 violation letters a month in the busiest months. And junk removal is a time-consuming process. We have to put our crews together, depending on what's on the lot. And again, we have to send them a notice. They have to have time to rectify the problem. Then we can take action. And we have to schedule it in as best we can. And in the meantime, we're getting calls from the general public complaining about the next door neighbor's lot or this junk. Vehicles are the same way. You have to notify them. You can't just go out there and write them a ticket. You have to notify them that the vehicle is in violation of the ordinance. And then if they don't take action, then we can either write them a citation, take them to court, and let the judge rule on the case. So, like I say, it's a never-ending process. Like Mr. Godwin and I were talking today, it's like drugs and crime. It's never going to go away. We're going to be continually dealing with this over and over and over again, because there are just people out there that don't care. They just don't care about their property enough to take care of it. So that concludes my presentation. I'll be happy to answer any questions you've got. If none, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
And Chief Hunley is coming in for our last presentation of the evening.
Good evening. We're going to start off with the bad news, good news scenario. Bad news is we had 6 years of declining overall crime statistics until we hit 2016, and then we had about a 4.5% increase in overall crime stats. In 2017, we had a 6.81% lowering of our overall crime rate. So we had a bad year 2016. 2017 was a little bit better. We actually went down in calls for service from 2016 to 2017. 46,000 in 2017. I'm sorry, 47,000 in 2016 to 46,000. Just 1,000 less calls, but our arrest went up from 2289 to 2392. And it's really unfortunate to have to tell you that there's had probably about a 10%, 20% increase on our juvenile offender arrest. It had been going down as well, but we had an increase there too. A lot of our crime stats are fueled by drugs, and that's just, we have a lot of meth, we have K2, we have some crack. Meth and K2, marijuana is probably our most predominant drugs of choice. In early 2017, we were staffing enough that we finally got to our level of having 3 officers in our detective division assigned to nothing but narcotics. We also added Koopa, our drug dog, and Officer Padir in 2016, and they've made a dent. And I don't think we're ever going to get to the point that I can come in here and tell you guys that, man, we've got crime almost down to zero. That's just not going to happen. But what our detectives and our investigators, the canine, all those folks work together. They've also made some very good partnerships with state and federal authorities. We do a lot of our prosecutions through the federal system also. So it's not only the drugs that may be grown, put together, whatever in Paris, Texas. There's still a lot of drugs coming into our area from south and north. Okay, so that's kind of where we're at on total crime stats between 2016 and 2017. The Texas legislature passed some legislation in their last session that really became heavy on officers for training. And we have 22 out of our 51 officers. Depending on where you're at and your level of certification with TCO, Texas Commission on Law Enforcement, you're required to take different types of courses. And they did this year with 40-hour mandatory training that we're going to have to put 22 officers through. And so our problem is that when we pull an officer for training, if we're pulling him on his off day, we're paying him overtime. If we pull the officer off of the shift, we have to pay overtime for somebody to fill that position. And so when we start talking about additional training, we're talking about additional overtime money, okay? And that's not the good Lord thunder or anything else. I just want to point that out. So we have training issues that come up. Talking about crime stats, one of the things that's going to change in starting 2018, 2019 is right now we're under what's called a summary uniform crime reporting system. And it's old. I mean, it was put together in like the 1930s. The FBI, we report our statistics to the state, they report to the FBI, and that's what gives everybody kind of a blueprint to try to compare crime between cities, communities, and whatever. The problem is going to be is that we're being forced to change to incident-based reporting, which is more accurate, but let me just give you a quick example between summary and incident-based. If I break into your house, get the keys to your car, and steal your car, under summary UCR reporting, that's one crime. Under incident-based reporting, that's going to be 2 crimes, okay? And so the feds are already telling us, get ready, whatever your crime statistics are, when you go to incident-based reporting, you're going to go up an average of 45%. So next year, hopefully if I can come in and give you all some statistics, it looks like an increase, just right off the bat from what we're doing right now. So that's coming up. Now, what are we doing? Trying to figure out how we're going to try to do any good at all on fighting the crime problem in Paris. We've come across a new program called DDAX, and I want to make sure I get this right. Data-driven approaches to crime and traffic crashes. It's a free program put out by Texas, actually TxDOT, Department of Transportation. It was primarily aimed at automobile crashes. The cool thing about it is where you have vehicles, you have crime. So the crashes that you have, the amount of vehicles you have on the road, can also indicate where you're having your crime stats. So when we talk about, if you ask any cop on the street right now, hey, where are the bad places in town? They're going to be able to kind of tell you, but we don't necessarily have had that data to put together and show you like a heat map or better statistical coverage to show you, yeah, this is a bad neighborhood or this is not a bad neighborhood. The reason why we're doing that, and the reason why I'm bringing it up to y'all now, is that when we're ready to launch the program, and we're getting close, we're going to actually come to y'all again at some future meeting and say, here's what it is, this is what the data is showing, and what we're going to do is we're going to try to assign more officers to those areas. And this isn't a zero tolerance deal. It's not the stormtroopers coming into the neighborhood. We want y'all to know, and we want our citizens to know, this is the reason why you're going to see more police in your neighborhood. And right up front, this is what it is. We're going to be there. There's a lot of things it requires that we're not doing right now. And so it's going to be a big change, but it's just coming. I just want to give you all kind of a preview of what we're going to try to do to eliminate some of this crime. As far as budgetary things, I kind of jump around a little bit. We have had nationwide, people are not interested in being police officers anymore. They all want to be the firemen because they're the good guys, okay? People don't want to be police officers. The industry has taken some hits. We've had some bad cops out there do some horrible things. People don't want to be cops. And when you're in our market size for Paris, Texas, we pay a decent wage for Paris, Texas. What the problem is you go 50 or 60 miles anywhere around us, and at decent wage that we're paying here is kind of laughed at, okay? So we constantly lose officers to the Metroplex areas. except now we're losing them to Mount Pleasant. I just lost an officer not more than 2 or 3 weeks ago to Mount Pleasant. I'm losing another officer that's getting out of the police business altogether. So we have people leaving the agency. When we're trying to replace them, this is what I'm really concerned about and what I want to make sure you guys know. Since October of 2017, we have given 3 entrance examinations for police officers, 3 of them. Combining all 3, we had only 28 people pass that test. Out of 28 people that passed that test, we've hired 1. And it's not the fact that we're being that super selective. It's the fact our basic job requirements are what it is required to be a commissioned peace officer in the state of Texas. We follow the state law precisely. And so it's not that we're saying, I don't like him or I don't like her or anything like that. I guess the best example I can give you, one of the last guys that got to the point of doing a background investigation, a month before he applied for a police officer, he was arrested on Class B theft. You can't be a thief and be a cop at the same time. So that's the type of things that we're running into. We look around at our pay, we look at it around that. I want to attract people, don't get me wrong. We need police officers. We need people that fit our community or reflective of our community. The problem that we're having is also retaining these folks because of these higher salaries elsewhere. So one thing that the manager and I have talked about is compacting our longevity scale. Right now, officers get a raise at 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10, 15, and 20 years. And when I look at cities that are similar to us or even a little bit smaller, Corsicana is the only other Texas city that I'm aware of that requires a police officer to be here for 20 years before they top out. Most of them are 7 to 10 years. And the issue with that is that we're paying the same money, we're paying it over a longer period of time, but when you have a marketable skill that a police officer has, they're going to go elsewhere. And that's one of the issues we face. And then if do y'all have this little table? Yeah, okay. Even if you look at what we top out at, Paris in 20 years, a patrol officer will top out at 51,648. And my dear friend over at Mount Pleasant, which is like 13,000 population, they top out in 10 years at 52. I'm going to pick on them because I just lost one of my guys to them. And you see these others, and you see Terrell, 60,000, Denison, 57. Corsicana does the 20 years, but they top out at 60. Marshall, 55. Greenville, 65. I hate to even put Greenville in there because they're pretty, they're sitting on the interstate. Texarkana, 53, and we're at 51. So that's an issue not only for now, but for the next couple of years, because if we could get people in, it's a lot more expensive to hire people and train them. From start to finish, when we hire a police officer, we are 9 months. This guy that just left us to go to Mount Pleasant here a couple of weeks ago, I will not have that officer's replacement on the street for 9 months. They've got to go through a basic academy, then they've got to go through the field training program, and then they're out and about on their own. And so we lose a person, we're 9 months out. One of the things we're going to do is I'll be coming back to ask y'all about hiring incentives for certified officers. And there's a lot more to it. I just want to give you a heads up that we're going to ask that, because just the basic police academy, we're spending about $15,000, $16,000 on salary. I would rather get a certified officer and pay that guy or lady $5,000 or $6,000 for just coming and hiring with us, and we still save $10,000, and we save 4.5 months of time. So that's just the salary, and Larry's the same way with the fire department. They're losing guys right and left, losing firefighters, and so this is just a problem. I think even Jerry talked about it in Public Works. They can't get anybody to even apply. Animal control, we're doing really well with partnership we have with Lamar County. I'm trying to go fast. Lamar County Humane Association. They are super helpful with us getting dogs and cats out the front door instead of out the back door. And we have started giving them some money. The city has every year $15,000, I think it is, to sponsor SNP programs where we get dogs and cats sterilized. And the more we get that, the less puppies we have, the less dogs we have coming back through the shelter. It's just a good investment. We're going to change that up a little bit. As far as equipment, you guys, the management of this city and the council has always helped us out greatly with equipment. We've got good cars. I look at other departments, they may not have the type equipment that we have, and it just makes it safer and better for the officers. One of the biggest morale problems for an officer can be driving a car that's got 120, 130,000 miles on it when I'm expecting him to be on scene of an emergency call in 5 minutes or less. So we're doing quite well on that. Kind of touching on what Kent talked about earlier on technology. When we built or remodeled the new police station, we put a brand new phone system in. Well, guess what? That was 12 years ago. And our phone system is starting to fail. And honest to Pete, we have to go on eBay to find refurbished telephones, because it's like everything else with technology. He's talking about a life cycle, 3 to 5 years for technology. This stuff's 12 years old. We can get a real good deal on eBay, and that's what we're having to redo some of our phones with. So that's pretty much everything I think I had in a nutshell. The exterior of the police and court building it's looking worse. When the building was remodeled, it was painted because some of the brick didn't match the other brick. And we have now found out that once you paint brick, you better be ready to paint it pretty often, because now what we have is water getting into the brick, it freezes, and starts chipping some of the brick off. It's cosmetic right now in some areas. If you drive by the building, looks pretty ugly, but it's cosmetic right now. But the problem about it is, in the next 3 to 5 years, there's going to be enough of that brick gone that it's not going to be cosmetic anymore. It's going to be a structural type issue. So I try to be quick. Any questions?
Have you stepped up beekeeping training for your officers?
Well, let me say this about that. That's the spirit of Lamar County and Paris, Texas. We had that deal with the bees, and we had beekeepers come out of the woodwork.
I saw the
us.
photographs of all the beekeepers.
Yeah.
That was pretty
Well,
impressive.
That's a good example of cooperation in Paris, Lamar County.
Good. Thank you, Chief.
Right. Anything else? Thank you.
All right. And item number 25, convening the executive session pursuant to section 551.087 of the Texas Government Code to discuss or to deliberate regarding commercial or financial information that the governmental body has received from a business prospect that the governmental body seeks to have locate, stay, or expand in or near the territory of the governmental body, and with which the governmental body is conducting economic development negotiations, or to deliberate the offer of a financial or other incentive to a business property described by subdivision 1 as follows: Campbell Soup. We are now going to executive session, and it is now 33. Okay, it is now 7:57, and we're out of executive session. We had a discussion regarding potential business agreement with Campbell Soup. Is there, and we have no action to take on this. Which brings us to the consider and approve future events for city council and or city staff. Any comment or suggestion on that?
I had one quick announcement. In addition to the meeting that's going on right now upstairs about the downtown plan, there's another one Thursday at 7 o'clock in the same place. So just as a reminder, I think I forgot to tell you about that before, but there's two this week, tonight and Thursday at 7 o'clock.
Are they the same meeting?
No, it'll be different. They'll kind of go over some of the stuff they've learned through their interview processes and so forth. So it'll be different information.
Okay.
So please come to both if you can.
How long is the meeting tonight lasting?
Scheduled for an hour and a half. It kind of depends on how many people participate. What they're going to do is kind of making a general presentation at first, and they've got tables set up where they're actually visiting with people 6 and 8 at a time. to get ideas and so forth. So it kind of just depends on how quickly that goes, how many ideas they have, and how many people participate.
If one is on scheduled for an interview, is it necessary
I
to?
think probably not. I think you're probably good to not go.
I wish I could have gone for the overview, but
Yeah.
I just couldn't,
Yeah,
so.
yeah. But,
yeah.
so, yeah, I think you'll get probably more from your direct
Okay.
interview.
All right.
Pictures and stuff up there that, tonight, do they have any kind of planned pictures?
They
or
don't
anything?
yet. They will, that's what they'll be doing. They'll pin stuff up, so they'll be showing off the drawings and so forth that they put together. That'll be Thursday.
Okay.
This is just kind of an input, and Thursday will be a temporarily, here's what we've got. And they'll come back August 13th to do that again and finalize it.
That's good.
All right. Anything else? Make a motion for adjournment. Sounds good.
Second.